Hello. Hi. Good morning. Welcome to practice. Hello, everybody. We are in um, our first full big week of working with Magu in the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple. And if you follow our social media, the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple Facebook page or our Instagram, you'll see that there are some informational articles being shared about Magu there. If you're in the Goddess Temple app, there's a section for our free members under our devotion that talks about Magu. And then starting probably this weekend, the lessons for this month about our goddess and guides will come out, and we'll be looking at the relationship between Magu and Chiwangmu. I hope that everyone is doing well today. We still have quite a bit of smoke up here from the fires. Albert had a nice birthday yesterday, though. And today, a bunch of his childhood friends and friends he's had for his whole life are coming from all over to go camping. So I'm excited to see them and spend some time with them. And let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, today we're going to be dedicating our practice to 3 people. We're dedicating our practice first to, what's her name? To, I don't know his name, to Gabby's grandfather. I just realized I don't actually have his first name, but to Gabby's grandfather. He's 80 years old. He's suffering with COVID that's lingering, and it's not going away. And he really needs our prayers today. We are holding space for Rhiannon and for Tiara, who today are both doing health procedures to ensure their future wellness. But these procedures are a little bit scary, a little bit nervous making for them. So we're sending them good wishes for safe, easy, smooth procedures that will be beneficial. And good outcomes. And let's light up our candle for Magu and Chiwangmu. And read aloud the first verse of the Tao Te Ching, and then we'll select one at random for our divination. A way that can be walked is not the way. A name that can be named is not the name. Tao is both named and nameless. As nameless, it is the origin of all things. As named, it is the mother of all things. A mind free of thought, merged within itself, beholds the essence of Tao. A mind filled with thought, identified with its own perceptions, beholds the mere forms of this world. Tao and this world seem different, but in truth, they are one and the same. The only difference is in what we call them. How deep and mysterious this unity is, how profound, how great. It is the truth beyond the truth, the hidden within the hidden. It is the path to all wonder, the gate to the essence of everything. Verse 38. To give without seeking reward, to help without thinking it is virtuous, therein lies great virtue. To keep account of your actions, to help with the hope of gaining merit, therein lies no virtue. The highest virtue is to act without a sense of self. The highest kindness is to give without condition. The highest justice is to see without preference. When Tao is lost, one must learn the rules of virtue. When virtue is lost, the rules of kindness. When kindness is lost, the rules of justice. When justice is lost, the rules of conduct. And when the high-blown rules of conduct are not followed, people are seized by the arm, and it is forced on them. The rules of conduct are just an outer show of devotion and loyalty, quite confusing to the heart. And when people rely on these rules for guidance, oh, what ignorance abounds. The great master follows his own nature, her own nature, not the trappings of life. It is said, she stays with the fruit and not the fluff. She stays with the firm and not the flimsy. She stays with the true and not the false. This is verse 38. I have a really good personal anecdote, something I witnessed that applies to this. In Tibet, people are, very adherent to certain kind of social codes of conduct. It's part of what makes society function smoothly. So they will take extra special care to be very kind to elders. They will be, very generous with their hospitality, even to strangers. When it's a religious day of observance, they really observe the traditions of the day. And when there's something going on that is difficult to understand, more likely than not, they're going to go to a lama or spiritual leader to ask for help in resolving the conflict. And the teaching will be to release the small position that they might be in, the small I, and to instead really be present with the teacher and the teaching. And that beyond that teaching, the conflict will be resolved. And so when you're in Tibet and you go like to a restaurant or a home or a hotel or a, sacred site, you're going to be able to expect to mostly see all of these things. However, there will be times when you see people kind of flouting those conventions. And one of the times that I was there, we went to a restaurant, the group of us that were traveling. And at that restaurant, there was a woman who was older. I'm not a doctor, but it seemed that she was mentally ill in terms of like talking to herself and kind of very much in her own world. She was begging for food, and a group of men at a table kind of shushed her away like she was a dog. They were like, shoot, 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 when she went to their food. And she was going table to table asking for money or food. The host of our group, our guide, got up, walked up to the counter with her, ordered her a meal, when they brought the food, he brought her to her own table. He then proceeded to sit down with her and bring his food while she ate her food. And even though he wasn't really talking with her, he was still eating with her and sitting there with her. And of course, our group, noticed it because he kind of just got up and walked away and ate the rest of the meal with her. And then when we were all done and she was also done, he came back and collected us to go to the next place. And I said to him, wow, that was amazing how you handled that. That was so kind of you. And he just looked at me and he was like, it's my duty. And then he just kept going. He didn't say like, thank you, or he didn't like take it in. He didn't make it a source of ego for himself to be like, oh, look how good I am or how virtuous I am. Instead, it was just simple. It's my duty. And I'll never forget that. That made a real impact on me because you could see how, in a society where one has been raised with these virtues, kindness, justice, and conduct, as opposed to the United States, where truly we're not really raised with virtues, kindness, justice, or conduct on the whole, I was really able to see how different things could be and how it doesn't need to be any like big show. I think a lot of times there's this big show about doing good, or there's a big show about how, we want others to perceive us. We want others to perceive us as a good person because in some way that will hold up a mirror, that will validate us as a good person, rather than just knowing internally that we have good, that we have bad, that we're working on the bad, that we're glad we've learned the good, and then just doing goodness as the way of knowing goodness. So this verse, goes on to talk about a lot of other things. It talks about how then, when you lose those other three things, kindness, virtues, and justice, conduct becomes a hollow exercise. And it gets me thinking about people who say things like they're going to kill someone with kindness, or how in our society there is sort of like a hollow, polite format in which people will communicate that isn't real. It's not deep. It's not true. It's largely hollow. But conduct is only really beneficial when it's the result of virtues, kindness, and justice. So today, let's focus on our virtues. That is to say, not anything we possess, but the virtues that we aspire to: truth, integrity, honesty. That beyond that, those virtues, compassion, dignity, lead us to kindness toward ourselves and others. That then beyond that, that the kindness leads us to create justice by doing acts of goodness quietly, humbly, without needing a reward. And then ultimately, how that commitment to justice shapes our conduct in the world in a much larger sense than just is available in one act, but where the conduct itself becomes virtuous and the cycle is complete. So we start with virtue, we move to kindness, we move to justice, we move to and through conduct back to virtue. And let's work on that today. Just creating that most subtle of cycles within ourselves, so that our next steps in this life are rooted in those things, and where those things become invisible and indivisible within and from us. That's our short bit for today. I hope that was helpful. And let's dive into Guanyin practice. We'll start with 3 prostrations before the shrine. And let's take refuge in that which is always virtuous, the Dharma. Namo Gurube. I take refuge in the inner teacher. Namo Buddhaye. I take refuge in the great mother of compassion. Namo Dharmaye. I take refuge in the wisdom of the ages. Namo Sanghaye. I take refuge in the community of practitioners. And let's set our intention, a person, place, situation, or circumstance that will benefit from today's practice. And today we're holding Gabby's grandfather, Tiara, and Rhiannon. And let's recite the four immeasurables. May I be a source of loving kindness in this world and all worlds, bringing a generous heart to all my thoughts and doings. May I be a vehicle of compassion in this world and all worlds, ever mindful and aware of the tremendous suffering of others. May I be a brimming vessel of joy in this world and all worlds, delighting in the happiness of others as their suffering is alleviated. May I be a balance point of equanimity in this world and all worlds, seeing all as equals and all as deserving of goodness. I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. I light this incense as an offering to Guan Xiyin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Omahum. 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 Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind and present clouds of every type of offering, actual and virtual. I confess all my destructive actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the meditation of all holy and ordinary beings. Please, Guan Yin, remain until the end of samsaric existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for sentient beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of others to the great enlightenment. (108) recitations now of Namo Guan Xiyin Pusa, calling out to the one who always has virtue. Yes, exactly. Corey says, killing with kindness is the most insincere form of duty. That's exactly right. There's no such thing. It's like killing with kindness is still trying to cause harm. The base motivation is still to cause harm. So, to the one who always will direct us away from unvirtuous behavior, who will always beckon us toward kindness, true kindness, who will always beckon us back to the no self approach to goodness, that is not to applaud oneself for good deeds, but instead just to make them a seamless part of the fabric of one's life. Let's call out to Guanyin with 108 recitations of Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, 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 Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa. Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxin Pusa, Namo Guanxi Yin 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 Pusa. And the brief wind horse practice of the goddess Tara by Patrul Rinpoche. Lume choksum chidang chatsun ma gyayum pakma drome jinti daki siso paljorn yandraknam yarnu dadang yarji soshindu kepar kaje wangtang lungta nam nyampa soshing chatu gyawa long chije lekpe lamdu drawa dang sering nime dedang denjur shi. Through the blessing and power of the unfailing Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and of Jetsunma, the mother of the Buddhas, noble Tara, may our lifespan merit prosperity and renown increase like a waxing moon, like a rising summer lake. Especially may our good fortune, Wangtong and Windhorse, be healed when they weaken, rejoined when interrupted, raised up when sinking down. May whatever we do turn out well, and may good health, long life, peace and happiness be ours. Lume choksum chidang jetsunma galyum pakma drome jintuyi daki sisu paljorn yandraknam yarnu dadang yarji sushindu kepar kaje wangtang lungta nam nyampa soshing chetu gyawa long chije lekpe lamdu drawa dang sering nime dedang denjur shi. And now 108 recitations of Om Mani Padme Hum, sending out our good energy to Tiara, Rhiannon, and Gabby's grandfather, as well as anyone else who is struggling or suffering today. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And let's give thanks for our teachers. May all of my blessed teachers enjoy long, happy, healthy, productive lives and great support for their good works. May all beings benefit from their wisdom. May they enjoy a swift and happy rebirth. And long life prayer for Alameda Chin Yeshu Wangmo. Om Swasti. Through the powerful blessings of the immortal Pema Jungye and his consort, may the three secret qualities of the Dakini of Supreme Bliss, Yeshe Wangmo, be utterly stable, and may the light of her activities shine on the lotus groves of the teachings and of beings, so that they blossom in radiant splendor. And let's dedicate the merit. May the merit of this practice and all of my activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Guanyin in our hearts. Namo Guanxi Pusa. And we close with a bow to Guanyin, bow to one another, and a bow to the inner teacher, and wishing everyone a virtuous, kind, just day of great conduct in such a way that it arises seamlessly and with complete ease for you. Be back tomorrow. Bye.